Hello and welcome to a new video, and today we are traveling by train again, and today's train is one more time the DSB MF, and today we're going from Aarhus to Hamburg on one of Germany's most extraordinary Eurocity train lines. And we start here in Aarhus, and here you can see my train arriving at the main station of Aarhus. Our train consists today of a 3-car DSB MF, so it's the same train like in the last video. And with this train we are going now all the way down to Hamburg in Germany, and it's one of only 2 lines where this train is reaching Germany. Both of these lines are running the same railway line in Germany, but one is coming from Aarhus and the other one is coming from Copenhagen. This line used to be way more interesting a few years ago, because until 2019 the trains were using a train ferry between Puttgarden and Rødby, so this was one of the most extraordinary train rides in the whole of Europe. But nowadays, unfortunately, the trains are not using the ferry anymore. They're going a longer way via Flensburg, and in the future they will take an even less spectacular way, because then they will go back to the original route, but then the ferry will be replaced by a tunnel. So of course the most spectacular way was to travel with a train on a ferry. Now the railway line that the trains are using right now is also very interesting, because later on we will reach the Hochbrücke of Rendsburg, and I will explain to you and show you what this is later on. And in the future the trains will just go through a very long tunnel, which of course is rather unspectacular for the train riders. The railway line in Denmark is interesting as well, as it has many curves. For example, here we are reaching the station of Vejle, and to reach Vejle we will leave our north-south direction and head to the west, reach Vejle, and then we go all the way back to the east, because there is the Vejle fjord in between, and in the future it's planned to cross this fjord and to skip the stop in Vejle. And then we reach Fredericia, which is the most important station in between, because all stations in the whole of Denmark that are east of Fredericia can only be reached via the railway line that starts in Fredericia. And soon after we reached the German border at the station of Hamburg, and that meant that we were required to wear face coverings again, as they are still required in Germany but not in most other countries of Europe. And there was also a significant difference between the Danish and the German train crew, because whilst the Danish crew was kindly asking us to put on our face coverings now, the German crew was threatening all guests who are not wearing a mask to kick them off the train immediately at the next station, which in my opinion was not the right way to welcome Danish guests to Germany. It continued to be very weird, because in Flensburg there was an announcement that all guests who do not have a seat reservation must leave the train and change for a regional train, which you can see here in the background. But the weird thing is that according to the websites of Deutsche Bahn and DSB, there is only a reservation required in some trains of Denmark, but not in Germany. Nevertheless, there was no announcement about seat reservations in Denmark, but all guests without one had to leave in Germany. I think it was because the app of Deutsche Bahn said that the train was supposed to be extremely full, which it wasn't in the end. So this was very, very weird. But the railway line itself gets very interesting in Germany, because we're making a loop in Flensburg to reach the station, and then we cross our own track on a bridge to continue on to Rendsburg, and there we make another loop, because after the station we're reaching the Rendsburger Hochbrücke, which means Rendsburg High Bridge, and here you can see it. This bridge is 42 meters high, so we need to make this loop to reach the height of 42 meters, because we are crossing the Kiel Canal, which is the world's most frequented artificial waterway. And to make sure that the big ships fit under this bridge, we need to have an altitude of 42 meters, and that's why we have this very impressive bridge, which is almost 2.5 kilometers long and, as I said, 42 meters high. And very interesting is also what is below the bridge, because there is the Schwebefähre, which means suspension ferry. So it's actually a ferry that is not running on water, but it's hanging below the bridge, and it's one of only 8 of its kind in the world, and it's the only one that's below a railway bridge. After Rendsburg, the railway line is not as impressive anymore, so I'm not showing too much of it here in this video. And here we are already in Hamburg. Shortly before reaching the main station, you have the most beautiful view of Hamburg you can get from a train window, and a few seconds later we are arriving at the main station of Hamburg. There my train ended and I left and took an ICE back to Würzburg, but there's no extra video about this train ride. In Denmark, in first class, drinks like water and instant coffee are included, but in Germany there is no such offer. So at Padborg, the station at the border, they removed all free items, but they forgot this bottle of water, so I took it with me. And then I left the train. And this marks the end of my series, in which we reached 80 degrees north at Svalbard, and now we're back in Germany. But there will be a new series very shortly and another video in between, so stay tuned for next videos. Here you can see when the next video will be uploaded and the name of the song, and that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please consider to like, comment, subscribe or share a video link, and I hope to see you in the next video.